Welcome to the Biz Bash podcast, where we make biz strategy a piece of cake. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cami, but you might know us better as Eliza Ann Calligraphy and Cami Monet. We want to help you, our fellow stationers, artists, and calligraphers, confidently build a profitable and personality-driven creative biz.
We're here to share our honest-to-goodness advice and actionable strategies for ambitious artists.
So put on your party hat, quit being a procrastinator gator, and let's get this party started.
Hey everyone, welcome back for episode 46, Get Ship Done, part 1. Guess who came up with that title? It was Cami, but I of course think it's hilarious and I approve, and
thank you.
Yeah, it's funny. At least we think it's funny. So anyway, we wanted to start off right away out of the gate by going ahead and reading a review, and then we'll introduce the episode a little more. So this review is from Lizzie Elgin. She says, "So helpful. These ladies provide so much helpful information for new stationers and calligraphers. I was making the transition from calligrapher to stationer and knew very little about the ins and outs of invitation design. I have binged almost every episode of this podcast and I've learned so much. I'm also laughing most of the time because Elizabeth and Cami are relatable and funny in a weird, but good weird way." Oh, we are weird. We have no shame in admitting that there is definitely some weirdness here.
100%. Yeah.
100%. So today we are doing Get Ship Done part 1, which is everything you need to know about shipping products. And as we talked about this series, we realized real quickly there was no way we could cover all things shipping in one episode. So we have this one specifically for shipping products, and the part 2 is going to be for mailing wedding invitations, but also Get Ship Done because it's hilarious. So
yes. So part 1, part 2, double episodes about shipping. It's just the month of shipping, you guys. So we're very excited. It's the month of shipping,
and the Q and Cake this month is going to be shipping themed because we got all your shipping questions, and It's a good one to start off, especially for the new year with people with like lots of goals to like send more products or like mail invitations. I think it's just a great way to start off 2020.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a very exciting series. We've never actually done a series before. This is right. This is like our first part 1, part 2 of anything.
Exactly. And who doesn't love starting off the new year talking about shipping? No, I'm just kidding, guys. But seriously, okay, shipping is seriously like not like an underrated part, but like an overlooked part of businesses in terms of profitability and like structure, process. I mean, like so many things rely on shipping, and I do think it gets overlooked a lot of times in business. We're like, oh, just ship it, we'll figure it out. But like, there's so many things that go into it. So we're going to be talking about shipping strategies today. Also, just like nitty gritty, like how to actually ship the thing, because y'all have a lot of questions about that. And if you've never shipped anything, it can be super intimidating, you know? So literally, we're going to do like some basic shipping overviews today, and like best practices for that. Even though I talked about before, we were going to name this episode Best Practices. And I was like, there are no best practices, but there really are actually, in terms of like what shipping supplier to go with, types of packaging. I mean, all the things. So
yeah, all the things.
It's going to be a good one. Get ready to take notes.
I think we had decided that like best practices was like too vague or something. And we just named another episode Best Practices for like rest and relaxation. So we were like, we can't get too redundant. We're creative, right? We can come up with something else other than best practices.
I know. Best practices covers everything. But anyway, shipping. So much going on. I clearly had a lot to say about shipping because I wrote 4 pages of notes.
Well, it's very funny because basically, like, when Cami and I write notes for the podcast, we just do it via Google Doc. It works super well because it's kind of a brain dump. So I wrote like 5 questions, basically like for Cami. That was all I had to do because she did the rest. She was just like, la la la, this and that. And like last night there was nothing. And this morning I woke up and the Google Doc had exploded.
Christmas magic
with all of this information about shipping, which is awesome because Cami's the shipping product guru and I am kind of more, we both have a lot of invitation mailing knowledge, but I lack as much like product shipping knowledge, I guess.
I think you're going to be fine. It's not like there's that much to know. I mean,
I know, but I'm going to learn something. There are like 4 pages of notes here. This is crazy. Like we thought our year in review episode, which ended up being an hour and a half, was the longest, but we'll see what happens with this one because it's going to be a doozy.
It's going to be a doozy. All right. So let's just jump on in, y'all. All right. So the types of shipping you can offer. Let's just like start with like the basics of like the types of shipping you can do in your business.
Yes.
So obviously we have self-fulfilled, which is where you are storing all the inventory and doing all the shipping. So this is like most of us out there are self-fulfilled. You know, you buy your prints and then you ship them yourself. There's fulfillment, which is another company stores all your inventory and ships it for you. So you're still ordering inventory up front, like at a really high amount, but having someone else do the shipping labor. I don't have any experience with this, but this is another way to do things.
And then I do actually. I forgot because Get Marked is like that. Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. And then there's drop shipping, which is you don't have any inventory. Your vendor makes the product one at a time and then ships directly to the customer. So we'll talk about like pros and cons of all these things. But I know we've had lots of questions about drop shipping. So let's just like talk a little bit about drop shipping. Drop shipping itself does have a lot of pros and cons. I mean, obviously you typically have a lower profit margin, which is sad, but at the same time, you're not spending a ton of money. You don't need a ton of capital to invest in all this inventory. So it's really easy to like start small with, and it's like less intimidating. It can also be a logistical nightmare though, because your customers might be getting multiple packages. For instance, like my mugs are drop shipped, but my other products are self-fulfilled. So sometimes customers are getting, the mugs are shipped separately. So you have to be like very upfront that things are going to be shipped separately. If you're doing drop shipping from like 3 different companies, it can get really hectic and really crazy real quick. So something to keep in mind. And then if things get damaged by drop shipping because you didn't have a hand in it, it's hard to know like what's going on. And you'll still get blamed by your customer. So welcome to being a business owner where you get blamed for all kinds of things. But you don't have to ship anything yourself or store any inventory. So you're saving time/money. So that's like drop shipping in a nutshell.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's some products more conducive to drop shipping than others. Because like greeting cards and prints, much easier to store in-house and like take care of on your own. But like mugs for you, Cami, that's been a great one to do drop shipping for. But then you, like you said, you have to deal with when somebody orders something separate. And that's actually one of the questions I wrote down for Cami is like, how do you manage when someone orders like a drop shipped items and one that is in-house? So do they pay double shipping, Cami? Do they pay one fee? What does that look like?
I don't have shipping split up. Like the way my shipping is set up on my website, it's just by weight. So they're still going to pay like one shipping cost. Obviously, it'll be...
okay.
Yeah, so they're still going to pay one shipping cost. It's not like it's 2 orders. So like to the customer, that side, they're not going to see that it's like being 2 different shipments, 2 different orders. And I'll talk more about my shipping strategy on how I like price my shipping. I'm doing air quotes because I don't know, pricing shipping is kind of a weird way of saying it, but how I charge shipping. So for instance, if a customer orders a mug and an art print, for instance, I will split the order through ShipStation. You're able to do that where you can split it up into 2 orders. So they'll get 2 emails with 2 different tracking numbers. And so this one has the mug and this one has the print. So those get fulfilled at separate times. And if I like ship the print beforehand, I'll just write in their note, like your mug shipped separately. And that's worked totally fine for me, splitting up the order like that. But in terms of like charging for the shipping, it still just comes out as one charge based on the product weight.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense then. Yeah.
Good.
I love it. That's a lot easier than I realized it would be. For some reason, I think I was overcomplicating it in my mind.
Yeah, you can totally get down a rabbit hole of overcomplicating shipping, but it's really like you just kind of got to go for it, honestly. Right. And I made a conscious effort to drop ship my mugs. One, because even though I have the capital, I could invest in buying all the mugs. It's not the storage that bothers me. Like I could store all the mugs and that'd be fine. It's more like packing up a mug and ordering all the packing supplies for mugs is totally different than packaging up prints because they're breakable. So there's a lot more that goes into packing things for mugs than a print, for instance. So I'd rather just do drop shipping with that because I don't have to invest in all the shipping supplies I would need for another product category. So.
Yep. Yeah, if we ever want to talk to somebody about mugs, we can interview Rosalind of Rosalind Love because that's basically mainly what she does. So
exactly. And like you have a certain like packaging you need to do for that. And honestly, it's such a headache. Like if someone orders 3 mugs, like I don't know, there's just a lot more storage of not storage, just like the different packaging materials you need.
And
like,
I felt so bad once because I ordered one from her and it arrived broken. So that makes you feel terrible too, like as a friend, because you're like, I know this isn't your fault, but like it arrived broken and I wanted to let you know. And of course she sent me a new one, but yeah, that happens a lot. I can't remember how much she said, like mugs, like the percentage they break is kind of crazy.
Well,
so
I was reading something and I think 1 in every 10 packages that go through the mail get damaged. So like my goal was to make it like 1 in 20, which I feel like is a good success rate if every 1 in 10. Yeah. You know, you want your like success rate to be much higher than that. So, but it's hard. I mean, they go through literally like hell and back in the mail. So,
no,
it's insane. Like it's so.
They might as well be taking a trip around the moon for like all you care. You're like, what happened? Okay, so let's talk a little bit too about shipping strategies because there's a lot of different ways you can approach shipping.
Right. Okay. So shipping strategies. Right. So here's like pretty much the 3 main strategies. Basically, are your customers going to pay the full cost of shipping? Are you going to offer free or flat rate shipping, or are you maybe going to absorb some of the shipping cost? So all of these things are different strategies to keep in mind as you're figuring out how you're going to charge for shipping. Obviously, free shipping is your customer's best friend. It's one of the best ways to reduce shopping cart abandonment, but of course it's never actually free and you're going to end up paying for it. Like someone's got to pay for free shipping. It sounds great. Customers love it, but you still have to pay for it.
Yep. Don't even start going down the rabbit hole of Googling Amazon's free shipping. It'll just make you really upset.
I do want to go down that rabbit hole, actually.
Ooh, it's scary. Yeah, it's scary.
Oh, geez. But yeah, so I found this study from the e-tailing group, which I don't know what that is, but I'm citing them because I found it. It said 73% of online shoppers deem free shipping as a critical factor that influences their purchasing decision. And 30% of shoppers will spend more when free shipping is included. And 44% of shoppers are going to abandon their cart due to high shipping costs. So if you think shipping doesn't affect your business, think again, because it is a huge factor in terms of success rate.
I know, which is like kind of, it's just so annoying. It just makes me very frustrated and mad because like Amazon has ruined all of us.
It really has. I mean,
in terms of spoiling us. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone expects free 2-day shipping. Like, and it's very hard as a small business owner to keep up with that because we are the ones who are, you know, having to take care of the costs. We don't have any, like, I'm assuming Amazon has like some huge crazy deal, but I don't like worked out, but I don't know if they do or not.
And it's actually almost like when you think of it, like a matter of like false inflation, because what's happening a lot of times is like the shipping price is getting padded into the product.
Right.
So like, okay, so here's a great example, like the painter's pens, Cami, that I use all the time for my wood signs back in the day. Like you can go to Walmart and get those for like $1.50, $2 maybe. Yeah. And on Amazon, they're like $7.99. And like, what do you think that price is? Like, I'm paying for shipping, even though they're Prime, quote unquote, and they're free. Mm-hmm. So it's like almost like it's almost like misleading in a way. I don't know. It's super strange, especially from a psychological standpoint of like, I'll pay $7.99 because it's free shipping, even though it's like way more than going to the store. I don't know. It's strange.
It is. But see, like maybe that is why that's such a good shipping strategy, because you're like, you're paying for the convenience and like you think something is free. So like, yeah, I'll buy it on Amazon, $7.99, free shipping. Heck yeah. Like you don't even think twice about it when like in the moment of purchasing. So, I mean, something to really consider, you guys, is absorbing that cost into your packaging or like your product cost to offer free shipping. I mean, if you have the type of product that where it makes sense, you know, like a greeting card, you can't really absorb the cost of shipping to that.
You can't. But, it'll look ridiculous. Your greeting card will be like $8.95 and everyone will be like,
exactly.
What?
Like my art prints, I could roll the cost of shipping into that product cost and it wouldn't be weird at all. And it would make sense.
Yes. So I could definitely do that with my letterpress maps because those are $65. And so if I made them, even if I did free shipping now, like my profit margin is still good.
Yeah, because the shipping's probably around like $3, so it wouldn't be like that big of a deal to like offer that incentive and not lose that customer at the abandoned cart. Because when they get to the shopping cart and they see those unexpected shipping charges, they're like, oh, never mind, and then they just leave. So
Yeah, it's a bummer. Or at least like you're doing some sort of threshold, which I know you do, is like $35 or up is free shipping, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Smart.
So that's my shipping strategy with that. And then, with shipping strategies, you really have to know your biz and your profit margin. Like knowing your numbers is huge in product businesses. And, we had Meg from Bell and Union and she reiterated that a ton and it's so true. But you definitely need to add up all the costs associated with your product. A big mistake I see businesses leaving out are all like the little tiny charges. So your product costs, the packaging costs, which people leave out all the time, the shipping costs, the credit card fee, all these things roll into your product pricing and it will affect how you're going to approach your shipping strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a difference between understanding why you're pricing the way you are and just pricing something because someone else is doing it too. So like that's the thing for me. This is so funny. I'll admit right now, like I'm charging $4.50 for my greeting cards because I know that's the standard, but I still need to take the time for what my exact profit margin is. Like I still need to take the time to figure that out exactly. So it's worth it to sit down and do the math, which I mean, I still need to do on that, like to make sure that I'm making money. Like that's the number one biggest thing is profit margin, or you don't have a business. Well, you do have a business. So it would just be in the red.
Yeah, exactly. Like people leave out like the clear sleeves on their packaging costs and like a sticker or whatever, like all the time. But those add up, like, you gotta be able, and if you're ordering them in bulk more, you can shave down the cost. Like basically the more you can like shave down the cost per piece is beneficial. But now it's just, we're talking about pricing our products. So
yes. Anyways, yeah, we can move on.
So, okay. So in my shipping strategy as well, I've also talked about absorbing some of the costs, and this is the strategy I implement with my mugs for specifically. Because, okay, so my mugs are $20 and I charge, I think it's like $4.50 or $4.95 or something for shipping, but the actual shipping cost is $7.95. But if I had a $20 mug and then charged $7.95 for shipping, I feel like someone paying $28 for a mug is just not going to happen. So, so that gets absorbed into the cost of the mug, which is why it's at a higher price point at $20, which I feel like is almost like the max price point for a mug, which it is higher. But I know that my profit margin on a mug, including the shipping, is about $10 per mug, just a little over $10 per mug.
Okay.
Even though I would make more if I charged the full price of shipping, I would sell less. So it's all like a balancing factor. Does that make sense?
At what point, I mean, this might be a little bit of a different question and topic. At what point do you think you want to do mugs in-house, or is that never a thing for you, at least at this current time?
I don't know. I've really thought about this, because I'm like, the profit margin is so much higher, but I just really enjoyed not having to package up the mugs. So I don't think that I'll just continue to drop ship them, because even though they're a really good seller for me, they're not something I'm like promoting all the time or like that I really care to be known for, Okay. So they're almost just like a supplemental income for me, but I rather would push like the paper goods because that's what I'm like really passionate about. But I'd be an idiot to get rid of the mugs in my business because they do so well on Etsy and it blows my mind. But so that's kind of my stance on mugs.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, well, whatever works for you. And if you have considered that and thought about it, then that's the way that you should keep going. Because you're right. Because you don't want to like have like mugs take over your business entirely if that's not what you're passionate about.
Well, like the number of SKUs I have on mugs is literally like 80. And so ordering enough, you know what I mean? Like I have to have like 8,000 mugs in my house. And like that just seems,
you would need a warehouse.
I know. Like that just like seems excessive. And I just like, I don't even want to deal with that. Like it doesn't appeal to me at all. So,
hey, you guys have room on your property. Just build a shed for mugs. Like, come on.
Just build for mugs. He already said he's going to build like a warehouse studio space for me. So we totally could. I could put it in that random part of the house that we don't know what to do with. But just 8,000 mugs. But yeah, I'm like, goodness. I don't want to do that. If I had like 3 mugs if I only offered 3 mugs, I would totally go all in with that. But like, I always have so many different designs because I'm an idiot. So
hey, it's something to think about if you really do expand at one point and like get a team and like have a warehouse and a storefront and stuff. Like then you could maybe think about it. But you're right, at this point, like people often forget factoring in space. I think I've heard Proof to Product talk about that a lot, that like people forget the amount of space you need to store stuff. That's like one of the most important things because people will like literally fill their house with things.
Yeah, like storing hundreds of prints, hundreds of cards, that's no big deal. Like hundreds of tea towels is really honestly not that big deal either. But mugs, oh no. No thank you. So, hundreds of enamel pins, that's fine. That's like in a drawer. Like it's really no big deal.
Those are so freaking cute. I love those. Okay, so what is your next little point is about the effectiveness of flat rate shipping.
And then flat rate shipping is another strategy. I think like J. Crew does this where all their shipping is $10. Like no matter what you order, it's just always $10. And I feel like this can be an effective shipping strategy if you have like a fairly standard product line of similar sizes and weights. For someone who has like greeting cards and art prints, for instance, and your greeting cards are $4.50 and then you're charging $10 flat rate for shipping, that's just, it is not going to convert your customers. So keep that in mind. I've seen things, some businesses do like $5.99 flat rate shipping or $3 flat rate, $4 flat rate shipping. It's just something like it's going to depend on the product you offer and the weight of it, to be quite honest, like how you're shipping it. So, but it can be, and it's obviously really easy to do, like set this up flat rate shipping. So if it's like just ease of use for you, it could be a good strategy, but just something to keep in mind going forward. But
yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's why you see that Amazon has like pretty much their standard size of boxes. Like, you've probably noticed there's like a small, medium, and then a couple variations of the large, which is also why you can end up getting like a set of markers in a huge box.
Why do we always ship the markers in the huge box? Every marker thing I've ever ordered on Amazon has come in a giant
Probably
box.
Something to do with like the way they've negotiated pricing, if I have to guess, like for that size of box. Like it might be more efficient and cost effective. Who knows? It's extremely wasteful, so but weird. I can't because it'll make me too upset.
Elizabeth has this weird beef with Amazon sometimes, so I don't know.
And I ordered almost like all our accessories for our king bed through Amazon, and I really just had to bite my tongue and do it because it's not my preferred route.
Oh my gosh.
But anyhow, okay, so let's talk about like the 4 variables for shipping a package. What do you have to take into consideration?
Okay, so when shipping a package, it's basically based on 4 main things. So the size of the package, length, width, height. The weight is a huge factor. The distance where it's going to. So USPS splits the US into 9 zones to easily measure their cost for the distance. So flat rate packaging is a good way to ship to higher zones without a price increase. So you'll see like zone 1, zone 2 on your packages when you're purchasing labels.
This is why Etsy is recommending more local people, don't you think?
You're probably right. Oh my God.
We need that connection. Because we were like, local purchases. By the way, this is news to me. I didn't realize it was 9 zones. So I'd never heard that before. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool, right? Like, I don't really know, like if they switch. I wasn't sure if they like switch, like if you're zone 1 and then like the distance change. You know what I'm saying? Like it changes based on where your destination is,
right?
Or if like each zone is like already like this is always zone 9 or something.
Yeah, right. I'll Google this while you continue to go over some more points.
And then the 4th variable for how much it costs to ship a package is speed. Basically, how fast do you need to get there? Obviously, overnight shipping is going to cost way more than if you do like first class mail that takes like 5 days. So a lot of factors, and when it comes to how much it's going to cost. So we get a lot of questions of how much does it cost to ship this? And there's literally so many factors involved. But if you have these 4 things under control, like you can pretty much you can easily calculate your shipping for every single product. So other costs that can go into these, the cost of shipping a package. So obviously the packaging costs, like the box and filler paper or whatever, tracking services, if it's going to have tracking or not. If you're adding insurance for things like wedding invitations, you probably want to insure those. Customs and duties for international packages and like additional tariffs. So yeah, lots of different factors that go into shipping, to be quite honest.
Yeah, a whole ton of different ones. And it sounds like you're right, Cammie, that these zones are based on your local proximity. So zone 1 is like your own area, 50-mile radius. And then zone 2 is 51 to 150. Then zone 3 is 151 to 300, and like so on and so forth with like bigger distance increases.
That is so cool. That is
Huh.
fascinating. I really think the postal USPS is like such a cool business, even though I know we all hate them sometimes. But like, guys, it's pretty freaking cool. Okay.
Did I tell you that at PowerCore I gave a 7-minute presentation about USPS and people were fascinated?
Really?
Yes, it was like the coolest thing. I
my
like took one of
gosh.
my blog posts and like turned it into a 7-minute presentation and speech and talked about all these things you have to consider for USPS when mailing invitations, because obviously I want them to refer people to me for invitations. And I feel like people were like
Blown away.
so into it. Yes, they were like so interested and engaged with me and made me feel really happy because yeah, for something that could seemingly be like very boring, I feel like I shared a lot of interesting tidbits. Like the thing about Ohio, that things will like randomly get stuck there.
Oh yeah.
And people were
It
like,
is true.
what? And I was like, it's the drugs.
It's the drugs. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
shouldn't be laughing at that. But we do have the theory that there is like something with the fact that here's what I learned, Cammie, that Ohio is within like an hour driving distance of 60% of the US population. Oh, wait, hour flight distance, not driving.
Okay.
I think it's an hour of flying, and you could get to 60% of like the main US and Canadian populations. And for that reason, there's a ton of mail and a ton of like stuff that goes through Ohio. And that's part of the reason that things get held up in the mail and that there's like such a big opioid issue, sadly.
But how does the opioids affect the mail?
No, I'm not saying I'm not, they're separate. I'm just saying that the fact that they're both correlated to the fact that Ohio is an hour's flight within 60% of the population. So a lot of things move through Ohio, including drugs. I'm not saying that the drugs hold up the mail. I'm just saying
all their post office workers in Ohio are all just like, no, I'm just kidding. I love them. I love all postal workers, but it's true. Every time I send something through Ohio, like when I have brides that get married in Ohio, I'm like, oh crap, because their invitations always take like 2 weeks to get go through. It's very weird.
I have a disclosure for like Ohio people. Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. If I work with somebody who is from Ohio, which I've had 2 couples now that have been Ohio couples, I actually give them that disclaimer of like the average like shipping time is 1 to 5 business days, but you could have stuff take up to 3 weeks. That's what I tell them because things will just
okay, well, I have an Ohio bride coming up next year. I'm going to adjust her shipping time or her mailing date by like 2 weeks because I'm nervous now.
Yeah, I would send them a little earlier, or if not, at least let her know. Yeah. Because they don't have a problem with if you say like, hey, here's kind of like the weird stigma with like mailing things through Ohio is that it takes a lot longer. Like if you set the expectations, it's normally okay. But yeah, I'm sorry, that's like kind of tangential because we were talking about like the zones and speed of shipping, etc. And we got hung up on Ohio, but that's just like a weird thing.
Okay.
It's not just us. Other people have said that too.
Drugs. The end. No, it's true. It's like a thing. Okay. Where am I? Where are we at in here?
Well, we were talking about like the 4 variables, and then did you get to the other costs section?
Yeah, to the other costs. Okay. So basically, let's talk about just like where do you even start with shipping? So basically, you need to find which box is most likely to fit any/all of your products and go from there. Like, you want a box that's going to be as versatile as possible in terms of, can you fit one thing in it? Can you fit 3 things? Like, you want it that way you're not having to buy as many different box shapes and sizes. You can just like go all in and invest with buying, 100 boxes, because typically when you're buying packaging as well, they come in like 25, 50, 100, like those kinds of numbers. So you're not just buying like 1 or 2. If you're doing that, it's going to cost you a lot more. So go ahead and figure out which box. You also want to just weigh all your products and know exactly how much everything weighs when it's all packaged up and ready to go. Like, this is going to make your life so much easier. Just get yourself one of those weight things, a scale, and measure every single one of your packages and every single one of your products.
Yeah, we have exactly the same one from Amazon, right?
Yeah, exactly the same one.
It's on both of our lists, I think.
Yeah.
We can try to remember to link those.
Right. Okay, so basically you just need your shipping scale and your package measurements, and you have to be able to know these things if you plan on being competitive at all with your business, because you don't want to overcharge or undercharge for mailing. And we'll talk about like why you're going to need this information for your website shortly. But the action tip for you guys is to weigh all of your products, source all your packaging that will fit your products, and weigh and measure that, like the box and the stuffing. So that would be like any padding for mugs or art prints or whatever. And then you can use these stats to get accurate shipping prices for your website.
Do you know what I did, Cami? That like
what'd you do?
I was like, I was struggling because I ordered like packaging for individual greeting cards, packaging for boxes of greeting cards, and flat mailers for my 11 by 14 prints. So I have like 3 different mailing things, but they're all such different sizes. I was like, I think I will use everything eventually, but I like how your boxes are like what? I have one in front of me.
Oh,
what did you say? It's like 12 inches by 8 inches by like
that's
2.5.
It's 12 by 9 by 2.
I was so close from just looking at that. Are you impressed?
Oh yeah, I am impressed that you just made by looking at it. This I guess would be interesting to add like the type of boxes that I have in stock for like everything that's worked for me. So the 12 by 9 by 2 clamshell mailers, which I get on Amazon, they're awesome. They come in like packs of 50. And those hold, I could put like 15 art prints in there or just one if it's like original, or I can put like 4 boxes of greeting cards in there, or like 3 or 4, 5 tea towels. I think like it can fit a lot of different things.
You got so much in mine. Okay,
yeah.
So I had 4 tea towels. When I opened this yesterday, I had 4 tea towels. I had a bunch of your Christmas tags, a box of the like 8-pack of greeting cards, 2 individual greeting cards, and an enamel pin.
Yeah.
And you got all that in there with like your tissue
nice
paper
and small and like compact. So it's not like a huge box that's going to cost more, because it's all about keeping it like as small and light as possible when shipping.
And I knew it was from you as soon as I saw it, because that's like your go-to box size.
I know. I love that box. It's the best. So that is like
from Amazon too. Dang, there you go. For some reason, I thought those were from like Pack Lane or something like that.
I mean, you can get them.
By the way, guys, buzzwords, we're dropping some names right now, which we normally don't do.
Easter egg hints, you guys. Grab them and go, guys, for serving up those fresh hot leads. I'm just kidding. Okay. Yeah, I always get them on Amazon because I don't know why, but the 2 days shipping.
Because of the free shipping, Cami. Come on.
It is. It's because of the free shipping. So yeah. So I love those. Then I obviously have the 8 by 10 flat mailers. They're actually like 9 by 12, but I use them for 8 by 10 prints, and I can fit, I think, up to like 3 8 by 10 prints. I can also fit 2 greeting card boxes in those as well.
Without them getting crushed, really.
Without them getting crushed, yeah.
That's
so
cool.
2 is like the max. I have the 5 by 7 stay flat mailers, which I use for individual greeting cards or like packs of gift tags.
Yes, I have those too.
Yeah, and then I have 11 by 14 stay flat mailers for my 11 by 14 prints. And I also have one more box size that I use typically for wholesale orders or like bigger orders, and it's 14 by 9 by 4 or 6. I can't remember. I think 4 that I use. So it's just a little bit thicker. A little taller of a box.
Cool.
And those are pretty much all my standard box sizes. And I know the weights of all of them. I know how much they're all going to be. And like once you have your packaging or your product weights, you can just like pretty much go from there. It's like always the same. It's like a formula.
Yeah.
And then if I have any,
go ahead.
Sorry, I'm still rambling.
You're
if
still
I have
going.
any other like massive wholesale orders, I still have like, because I get a million things in from prints and whatever, I just keep those boxes and I can reuse those of like odd sizes, you know?
Yes. That makes sense, right? Reuse, recycle, upcycle, all that good stuff.
I only reuse the ones that are like white or cute ones. Like I would never reuse an Amazon box because that would just be janky.
So one of our favorite companies actually uses white boxes, Cami. So those are super cute. You could reuse those.
Yeah, I reuse those all the time. And like boxes that I get, like the backers for my prints in, they're really cute and they're like the clamshell shapes. I really like the clamshell shape of boxes, so I'll reuse those too. So lots of boxes. We'll talk more about packaging. Let's go back into how, if you have all these measurements and all the weights, how this kind of works with quoting prices for shipping. So obviously you can go check on like USPS.com, their rate calculator, put all these things in, it'll give you a rate. But within your e-commerce site, if you're using Squarespace, Shopify, Etsy, whatever, these all quote prices for shipping slightly differently. Elizabeth, do you want to talk about these?
Yeah, sure. I can talk about them a little bit because now that I have like recent experience with all of them, so Cami has been on Shopify for quite some time now. So I still use Squarespace for Eliza and calligraphy. And at this point, like this is released in 2020. So I think my products are going to be like gone from the website at this point. But I sell my wax seals through there. And those are just a flat rate for shipping because I think Squarespace's estimation for shipping is a pain in the butt. I don't know how much you remember, Cami, but it was like
it's very
super
tricky.
odd and weird. You have to go, it's like, oh gosh, you have to be like from 0 pounds to 1 pound is this much, from 1 pound to 2 pounds is this much. And then you have to like assign each product a weight and it gets that shipping applied to it because I don't think, at least as far as I know, it's been a while that I've like tried to check that they don't really automatically estimate shipping prices. It's more manual, right?
They don't have like those real-time rates like Shopify does. You have to like write the number of what it's going to be, and it does get tricky because for sure. Like I hated the way Squarespace sets up shipping. So I do feel like if you really want to, go into the product space, that's another reason why I recommend Shopify for your website. Because the shipping is weird.
The shipping is super weird because it basically forces you to do a flat rate based on weight.
Yeah.
You like don't have a choice. So just keep that in mind. And that's why when I started Thank You Society, I was like, I am 100% building this into Shopify because it's going to be product based. Why would I do it on Squarespace? That's just a pain in the butt. So Shopify does automatically quote like real-time shipping pricing for weight based on weight and package size. And you do have to choose a default package size. So that has been kind of interesting for me because like I said, I have like 3 products that are all very different sizes. So I think I'm just like quoting on my biggest package size. I don't know. I think that's what I decided, or the box maybe.
My default package is automatically just an 8x10 stay flat mailer because honestly, the price doesn't really change that much because it's like 9x12 by 1 inch. And then the box is like, because you can't put like under 1 inch for a size for flat mailers.
That's right.
So, and then the box is 9x12 by 2. So it's like, that does not make a difference in terms of cost. So it's like not, don't even worry about that. So if you're putting your 11 by 14 by 1, like that won't make a difference in cost. It really mostly goes by weight at that point. Like you're still under like a certain percentage of the inches or something. So
and
not that big of a deal.
What I really love is that Shopify allows you to choose multiple mailing services. So like for me, I only have USPS. That's what I prefer to like mail with and deal with. But you could add a FedEx profile, a UPS profile, and it'll quote for all of those. Your customer can choose which one they want to use, which one they want to pay for based on how quick they want to get it and all of that stuff. And it does the rest for you, which is like super helpful and nifty and much easier than Squarespace.
Because like each product on Shopify, you are putting a weight on that product, like the ounces. And you can, fudge it a little bit if you want. And you can also say like, oh, with this mailer as well, this mailer weighs 2 ounces, and that'll account into the shipping cost of like adding on a 3 ounce product or whatever. It's pretty stinking accurate. Like I love it actually. Like I don't feel like I ever overcharge or undercharge with Shopify, which is really nice, and the customer being able to pick if they want like first class or priority is definitely a nice little extra service to have.
It's a huge plus, and they're placing shipping bids on your behalf. So Shopify is negotiating with those companies to get the best deals for their clientele, basically us, who is like using their platform, which I absolutely love. And same thing with Etsy. Like Etsy does that a little bit too. So we can talk about Etsy as well.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but I'm about to pee my pants and I have to go.
Okay.
I'm like trying so hard to get through it, but I can't. I just can't.
We are going to break for an ad really quick while Cami goes to the bathroom. Hey guys, Elizabeth here. Just wanted to hop in and talk about one of Cami and I's amazing resources called the A to Z Directory. I know that all of us have thought at some point, how did she do that, or how did she make that? And maybe you just don't know where to start and how the heck to produce the product that you've dreamt up. Well, the A to Z Directory is the missing puzzle piece in your biz, and it is actually a yearly membership that is a one-stop shop to every supplier you need to create anything from wedding invitations to coasters, mugs, napkins, greeting cards, and more. And we even have resources for drop shippers, where to produce a bunch of different things. And essentially, we just want to help you guys search less and create more. This resource is a really great deal at $147 per year. It also includes access to our private Facebook group where you can ask any questions you have and get the answers you need at the drop of a hat, which is awesome. It's a really great community over there. So head over to bizbirthdaybash.com/directory to get more information and to sign up today.
Okay, I'm back. I feel a lot better. Whew. That was a doozy.
That'll be perfect. I'll just put in. I'm just gonna like run one of our advertisements during that. Okay, we're back, y'all.
Oh gosh, sorry guys, sorry about that.
We start doing that more anyways, Cami, where we're like, and now we're gonna cut for a break. I love when episodes do that. I think it's so funny because then at least you know what's coming.
That's a good idea. And then I can take a bathroom break.
Have to like throw in an ad, which I'm sure our viewers or our listeners love. They're probably like, what the frick? She was in the middle of a sentence. I try to find a good spot, but it's not always possible. Okay. All right. So now that you have peed, thank God, Cami is
guys, I drink a lot of coffee. It's sorry. Okay, so we were talking about Etsy, where they offer the same kind of like you can have the real-time carrier rates and
yes,
for you,
and that they try to do what Shopify does, but I don't think they do it as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because my Etsy is so jacked up. Like this is something I need to get my VA to work on because some of my products are on like a flat rate thing and some of them are on like the estimated thing. So it's like, I don't even know. Like they all get, somehow it all works out, but like I would like to get it all consistent, you know?
Yes.
But whatever. Okay. So I talked about how do you know what to charge, which is a huge question we get. And we talked about the shipping scale and package measurements. So, and the weights and all those things. And then let's talk about if you're typically shipping USPS, what service do you use? So, the service I use the most for shipping products is First Class Mail, which is the best option for under 16 ounces. So this is like a huge thing is that your product you're shipping with the package and everything has to be under 16 ounces or it will bump up to the next service level, which is priority mail. So First Class Mail is like the basic mail, has to be under 16 ounces, takes about 3 to 5 days, and it has tracking, which is very important when you're running a product business. You want to be able to offer tracking. Then priority mail is the next one up. So this is for anything that weighs over 1 pound, essentially. So over 16 ounces. This is 2 to 3 days guaranteed. And it has tracking and insurance included for up to $50. So this is best for parcels between 1 to 10 pounds. So I'm mostly shipping First Class Mail or priority mail, depending on the weight. So literally those are like the only two I'm going with.
Yep. Yeah.
And I might do priority mail for like an original painting. Even though it's under 16 ounces, they're usually around 8 ounces. I will still ship it priority mail.
Yeah, I pretty much go between like First Class and priority mail as well. And one thing to note as well for people who are maybe only shipping very few items, or shipping things like maybe people aren't purchasing through Etsy, they're not purchasing through a web storefront, you can sign up for USPS.com. They have like a click and ship thing. And so that's the same thing where you put in the dimensions and the weight, and that's what I always do. Like if I'm sending something to family or friends, like there's no way I'm going to go to the post office and wait in line for for a freaking label for that when I can do it at home through click and ship on USPS. So keep that in mind. That's something you can use if you're doing like a really, really like low quantity of orders and you don't want to automate it. But we're going to talk about some of like the automation stuff we use. But sorry, that was like a little tangential, but I also stick with those like First Class priority mail things through USPS.
Yeah, so First Class or priority mail. And then there's also USPS Media Mail, which is super duper cheap, but it's only available for books, magazines, or videos. But so, I mean, if you sell like books, then that would be great because you can ship media mail. The only person I know who uses media mail is my Nana because she sends me magazines and stuff. So
yeah, who came up with, I'm so curious to know the history behind media mail and why they decided that like mailing media got its own category.
I don't know. It's so cheap. But if you try to like do media mail and it's not media mail, like
You could
they
get
will
in
find
trouble.
you. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get in big trouble. So don't try. It's tempting, but don't do it, you guys.
It's really easy to apply the like Santa Claus thing. He sees you when you're sleeping. It kind of feels like that for like USPS. Like they'll find it out. He sees what you're shipping. He knows it's not media mail. He knows if you've been.
How do they know? I feel like my little card boxes look like media mail. I can be like, it's a book of cards.
Well, I bet
I can't. I won't do it, you guys. I'm too honest.
Well, I guess boxes don't really go through machines, but I've always wondered if they ever like X-ray boxes just in case.
I bet they do. I'm sure they do.
They might have to for certain like security measures and things. Like, I don't know, but X-rays are very expensive. So can USPS afford that? It's actually the one government agency that never makes any money. I'm pretty sure like USPS is like always in the red.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
Okay, wait. Hold on, I lost where I was. Oh, and then packages over 15 pounds, which I very rarely am shipping packages over 15 pounds. It would have to be like a lot of stuff. I would use FedEx Ground.
Okay, instead of like anything USPS.
That's the most, I mean, once you start getting over 15 pounds, FedEx and UPS are going to have more competitive rates than USPS.
Well,
so
here's another
rule of thumb.
Here's another good thing to keep in mind, though, is that there are flat rate shipping boxes from USPS you can get for free.
Yeah, I have those down there further.
Oh, sorry, man.
Oh, it's okay.
See, because I didn't read through all your 4 pages of notes.
I know. Well, the thing is, like, if they don't fit into like the boxes, the flat rate boxes aren't that big. So, like Alex. First of all, we ship a lot of stuff in this house. Like, not only my products, but like Alex is like selling used car parts all over the country. Like, he's shipping the suspension to Hawaii this week.
Jeez.
So, like, literally, but actually USPS ended up being the cheapest rate for that. So I guess I have to eat my words. But I think it was because it was to Hawaii. So,
yeah, like, possibly.
On local. But we're using FedEx Ground and UPS all the time for these like ginormous packages.
Okay.
But I don't know if anyone's like selling like furniture or something like that would be applicable to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you actually get shipping discounts? Like, is there a way to save money when it comes to shipping?
Woo woo. Heck yes.
And the answer is ShipStation. Woo! Well, I mean, that's just one of the answers. There's a million other like shipping, what are these like things called, like software things?
Yeah, like integrations kind of.
Yeah, like there's like Pirate Ship and there's like a bunch of them. But ShipStation, I think, is the best one because it offers a lot of other robust features that I don't actually use, but I know they're there, so I could use them. And it syncs all my orders from Shopify and Etsy, and it's just, I really love ShipStation.
Yeah, ShipStation is awesome, but it's also important to note that you're already getting discounts through Etsy and Shopify, even if you don't have ShipStation. Oh, yes.
Right. I think you get more discounts.
Just makes it even better or something like that.
Yeah, you're still getting discounted rates with Etsy and Shopify. So sometimes I see people who are like selling stuff on Etsy, but they don't buy the label through Etsy. And I'm like, why would you do that? Because it's discounted when you buy it through Etsy. So
yeah, right. Except in your case, it just all syncs with ShipStation where you get an even better deal.
Yeah. So ShipStation, I think I don't know how much I pay monthly. I started off paying $9 monthly. Now I think I pay $25.
Yeah, you're definitely on like a higher tier than the $9 one.
Okay,
even I think it's worth paying $9 a month to save money on things that I either send to clients or I send to other wedding planners when advertising my materials and my wedding guides. And like, I use it enough to make it a viable option to pay that $9 a month. Even if I'm not doing like as high of volume as you, Cami.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth it. And you can do like manual orders through there and just put in all your weights and dimensions and get a label right away. And you can like make your label cute with your logo on it and like have little phrases on it and stuff. So,
oh yeah, I saw the phrase on yours. That was really cute. I was wondering how you did that.
Yeah, ShipStation. So, yeah, you can put that in there somewhere. But you can like change, like depending on what shop you're using, you can make it little saying like something else. Like if I did like a manual order versus a store from Etsy, or like I have Biz Birthday Bashes linked on my ShipStation. If we ever ship like shirts, I can put something on there.
Yeah, right. Our products that no one ever orders, which is so funny.
But they're there. You guys, we have really cute shirts and hats available on bizbirthdaybash.com. They're really cute. No one ever orders them because we never talk about them, but they're really freaking cute. So
we do never talk about them because, our bread and butter are our like digital resources.
I know. But anyway.
Want to be in the club and get a cool shirt. Whenever I say that word cool, it reminds me of the substitute teacher skits by Key and Peele.
Oh, yeah.
You have to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Ain't nobody going to no club. He's like, convince the students are making up the fact they have after school clubs. Those are timeless. Those Key and Peele skits are some of my favorites. But anyways, I digress.
All right, back to ShipStation. After you get your shirts, we'll ship it to you, and then you get ShipStation. So with discounts with ShipStation, I looked up the discounts. Pretty sweet. So you get 40% off Priority Mail, 18% off First Class Mail, 13% off Priority Mail Express, 40% off insurance rates, and up to 29% off FedEx. There's other ones, but I didn't feel like listing a million discounts, so those were like the main ones.
Tammy, with this logic, you could actually save more money with Priority Mail if they're giving that big of a discount, or is it like that much higher that it wouldn't matter?
Priority Mail is still more expensive.
Well, I know, but they have a bigger discount for it.
Yeah, I know, but it still costs more money.
I see. You're saying, okay.
Yeah.
Even with the discount, okay.
Yeah, even with the discount, it still costs more money. So it's like, basically it'd be like $3 versus like $6, $6.85. Okay. So, I mean, I could spend the extra, but I don't really care to do that. So, so using third-party shipping software allows you to get these negotiated rates, which is why we recommend investing in these third-party shipping software platforms like ShipStation or whatever else you use. I can't speak to any other ones because I've never used them, but there's a lot out there. So find what works for you. I think Pirate Ship or something like that is free. I could be wrong.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So they must get some sort of like commission rate for negotiating shipping, and that's how they make their money.
And then there's like stamps.com, which is integrated with ShipStation. I'm not really sure how it all works, you guys, but
well, you have to have Stamps.com is also somehow integrated with USPS too. Because you have to sign up for like Stamps.com and integrate your USPS profile and then sync it with ShipStation. Because I remember that tripped me up a lot when I first set up ShipStation. I was like, I don't understand. I still partly don't get.
I don't either. It's like ShipStation is Stamps.com. I don't really know.
I know.
So we're not going to talk about that because it's not important. But anyway, so if your product is heavy, we were talking about this earlier when we were talking about FedEx Ground, but using priority mailboxes. So these offer flat rate pricing for up to 70 pounds. And bonus is that these boxes are totally free and they will literally deliver them to your door for free. You literally can just say, I want 10 boxes, and they come right to your door. So this is a really cool option because you don't have to buy any packaging costs in terms of boxes, and you have this flat rate that you know it's going to be the same amount no matter what you're shipping in there.
Yep. I used the flat rate envelopes when I sent out all my 2020 wedding guides, and that worked awesome.
Cool. Yeah. I only listed 3 flat rate prices here, but there's there's envelopes like Elizabeth's talking about, like the bubble mailers, all these things. But for a small flat rate box, it's $7.50, and those are hold basically the size of like a VHS, if anyone knows what that is.
Yeah, right.
You really can't fit that much into them. The medium flat rate box is $12.80. And I think these are the discounted rates through ShipStation. And then the large flat rate is $17.60.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it's still cheaper for me to do my own boxes because I'm still not doing anything like that super heavy.
Yes, exactly. So it's like a little bit of experimenting to figure out what's the best.
I feel like weight affects the price of postage more than any other factor. I mean, I'm
agree.
Not sure if that's like a direct thing, but what I've noticed is when something weighs a lot, it's going to cost a lot more. That's why mugs are such a pain in the booty, because they weigh over 15 ounces. They weigh more than 1 pound. So you're automatically in that priority mail bracket no matter what.
Yes.
Even though they're small. So.
Well, now I'm wondering, I like using Priority Mail Express because I like things getting there quick.
Yeah. But now I'm good shipping strategy. See? It's are you going to go for cheaper and slower, or really fast? And
Because now I'm like wondering too, like I could have sent out all those wedding guides probably via first class mail. Oh, but maybe they hit the weight limit. I can't remember.
I doubt it. I mean, were they just like a magazine full?
Yeah, it's just like 7 of my like 8-page magazines. So I don't see how that would have hit. I don't know.
Oh, that would not be more. I mean, I can ship like.
But because I sent them in priority mail package, actually, maybe that's why I did it, because it was the flat rate envelope for USPS. That's probably why I did it. But yeah. Okay, let's talk about packaging, like the way you package up your stuff.
Yeah, now that we talked a little bit about like the rates and the measurements, the rates and the weights and all that good jazz. Okay, so packaging in your brand. It's way more important than you think, not only for effective shipping rates, but also for the customer experience. Like it can totally be a marketing tool. Like think you guys of all the millions of unboxing videos on YouTube, or like when you get a really pretty package in the mail from a company that sells like high-end shoes or whatever, like it's an experience. Like it adds that you're more likely to buy from them again than if it comes in like this janky beat up box and like, you know, not bubble mailers. I'm sorry. What's like the packing peanuts? It just looks gross, you know, you're just not like into it as much. That is why
I do have a story about this, but I don't want to interrupt if you have a good flow.
Oh no, go ahead and tell your story. I don't have a flow.
Okay. Well, this happens all the time when I'll be like, and the next point, and Cammie's like, I'm not done. I'm like, well, geez. This happens all the time. Mainly in interviews, it happens a lot. Okay, so I was going to say that when I first started my partnership with Get Marked for the wax seals. Also, like my coffee's hitting now, so I'm like, like,
my coffee is coming in hot.
Woo! When I first started mailing those, I don't have control over the packaging, so I did not know how they were going to be packaging these wax seals and mailing them to clients. So thank goodness, like my mother-in-law placed an order for a wax seal stamp when I first launched them in March of 2018. Because she sent me a picture of what they used, which was like one of those like bubble mailers, essentially, like the like yellow ones you would get from like Office Max or Office Depot.
Oh gosh!
And the thing was like pretty beat up and damaged. Like it had been torn, like the wax seal box had gotten like partly squished. So you like take it out of the envelope and like your product doesn't look good because it wasn't protected. And needless to say, I had a little chat with them about that because I was like, look, you guys are like mailing on my behalf, like a fulfillment service, kind of how we mentioned before. And I was like, we need to do something about this. And I was like, and I'm happy to pay for the extra price to have you guys like mail these in a box instead of in a mailer, because it comes back to like reflect on my brand. I don't want someone getting their stuff all smashed up. That was like super disappointing to me too, because like so many orders were placed during that first week and I hadn't even bothered to ask like, hey, what are you shipping them in? What does that look like? What's the packaging like? And hindsight's 2020, you know? So we got it fixed, but that's kind of like my story about terrible packaging. From the get-go,
It makes a huge difference. It really does. Like branding tool, marketing tool I mentioned, but I mean, you really want to like take the time to pay attention to this. And this is why, so you basically have two options for packaging, basically using what I call utility boxes, which are just plain boxes, white or brown, cardboard, whatever, which is what I use, or getting branded packaging and investing and buying like those branded packaging boxes from Packlane or whatever, or, you know, getting those branded poly mailer bags, you know, where they're like actually printed on the box and they're really fancy, which costs a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, and then obviously there's the third option of like recycling boxes, but I just can't recommend this because, you know, I feel like if as a luxury brand, I'm sending something in a repackaged Amazon box or like HelloFresh box or something, like it just doesn't match. I do think you could make this a branding tool if you were like an eco-friendly company or like made it like maybe put little cute inserts like, oh, to save the earth, we're putting all of our we're doing recycled boxes or something. You know what I mean?
You know who does that? Swell Press. I think Swell Press does that, where she says and like your stuff is arriving in a previously used box for this reason.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if you are like going to do that, you need to make it like intentional.
Yes, like you need to kind of tell your client or consumer like this is the thought process behind it. And I will say one thing though, Cammie, is that I used to reuse Amazon boxes all the time for like a smaller wood signs. And what I would do is I would like box them up and then I would wrap those in craft paper. So it looked really clean and cute. And I would like write like Happy Mail or to so-and-so with like a cute marker on the outside and with the label and my sticker. So it looked very clean. And then they would like unwrap that and realized it was like previously like used box. But at least I went to the effort to like make it look a lot cuter, and like craft paper can be like recycled as well.
No, I think that's a super cute option. I just feel like if you're just sending just an Amazon box and your customer is not really expecting that, then it can be like a little jarring if you're like trying to present yourself as a high-end product or whatever.
And who
but
are we advertising here? Like that. It's like you're not really advertising yourself. You're just advertising Amazon by sending their boxes.
Exactly. So for my packaging, I just use plain old utility boxes and I just fancy them up with some stickers on the outside, which is cheaper than buying branded boxes. You know, maybe I'll invest in that. I've looked at it a lot and thought about it. And now that I kind of have my box sizes that I know I'll use a ton of.
Yes.
I think it'd be a lot easier now to like make the leap into branded packaging. But I feel like putting the stickers on the outside actually looks pretty cute. So.
Oh yeah. Like the stickers look adorable. Like I know it's from you. Like I don't think you have to spend the money to have like your logo or stuff printed directly on it. And like, I think it's for special instances. So like this upcoming spring, when I launch my, rebrand and my new website and all of that, I'm probably going to be sending out some sort of like goodie boxes to planners and people I know with my new branding to like announce my new brand. And that's an instance when I would consider paying for branded boxing because I'm like announcing something like super high end, super exciting. And
totally,
I think it would be worth it to do that. But for like the everyday of mailing products, everything adds up. So you really have to like weigh that option. Literally.
Yeah. Literally. Oh my gosh. I know, it's so true. So yeah, something to keep in mind. And then including in your packaging beyond the products and the actual box itself. So obviously the box, the tissue paper, the filler or cushioning, stickers, maybe you're doing a receipt or order summary. You got the tape, you got packaging inserts if you're putting in a little note. Which I love doing because it's low cost and the cost of shipping is already covered. So it's going to get there, without having to pay something else. Little gifts, discount codes, thank you notes, a review request, all these things you can put in the package beyond just, you got to think outside the box or inside the box, you guys, what you're going to put in there and what adds to the weight. But, just making it fun. I mean, it's kind of cool as small business owners that we do get a chance to like touch each and every one of our shipments going out. So you can make those like really special and write your little thank you notes or throw in a little extra goodies. I do that all the time, mostly because I'm like, I'm sick of looking at this, throwing it in there. So,
I would say for me as a consumer, it drives me crazy when I get something that doesn't have an order summary on it because
I never put an order summary. So.
Oh yeah, really? I think it's probably really personal preference. That's something
I do for my wholesale orders because there's like a bunch going on.
Yes, yeah, and that one person that you've messed up their order, right? Isn't it that one person, or was that someone else's story? Was that Meg who told us that? Yeah. Her wholesale order, and I think it was like Meg Sutton of Bell and Union, that there was one wholesale account where she kept messing up their orders and she kept double, triple checking, and for some reason she would mess up something every time.
Oh my gosh, that makes sense.
It was either her or another like wholesale episode on like Proof to Product. I remember someone talking about that, and it was cracking me up. I did
have one wholesale account that I had to send things in like 4 separate boxes because like one card would be out of stock, and I was like, oh my gosh, she needs this now. And then I would like forget. I don't know. It just like got really intense. Oh, she actually bought an A to Z directory membership, this stockist. So it's just really funny. Gosh. But and then I ordered the mugs wrong and I only ordered 1 instead of 6. So then I had to order 5 more. So she's like, I'm missing 5. I was like, they're coming. I messed up. I'm sorry. So thank goodness. She was so patient with me. She's like, love your stuff. I'm joining the A to Z directory. And I was like, oh, good. She like actually knows who I am. She doesn't think I'm a psychopath.
That's so funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it happens.
You do a really good job with everything you include in your boxes because you have your gray tissue paper, you have your like little square note that and I love how that's like 2 by 2 inches, right? It's like pretty little, but it's enough for you to like scribble something on there that's like personal. You have stickers. I don't know. Yours is just like very well thought out, and I like it.
That makes me feel so good because I've never changed it, but I think it works. Like,
it works so well. Cute. Like, I didn't think with the rebrand you won't have to change it very much.
Yeah, it's just like a good one, and it's cheap and easy, which is also very important with your packaging. Like, you can get intense and do ribbons and gift wrap and all kinds of cute stuff, but like scalability, you guys, like also keep that in mind when you're like trying to figure out how to make things as cute as possible.
Yep.
Like slapping on a sticker is way easier than tying a ribbon. So
yeah, agreed.
Okay. Do we cover packaging?
Yes, I think the packaging is good. And I think too that I will say something in terms of thank you notes. That when you're doing a small amount of orders, I think it's viable to write personal thank you notes to each person. But at a certain point, I think you kind of like have to forego that. Does that sound bad?
Oh no, 100%. Like I completely agree with that. 100%.
Okay.
Like I used to write way longer things in my thing. Literally all I do, I don't even like, they're not personal to the person now, but I still handwrite thank you / Cami, like -Cami on all of them.
Yeah.
But I literally just do it all at once. Like when I get them in.
Yeah.
It literally looks like scribbles. Like it takes me like 0.2 seconds. Like it's not. But then I also like, I've thought about just taking that blank part of the little note away entirely, but sometimes I like able to write like your mug is shipping separately or something, personal on there if I need to. So I like having the option. So I pretty much, or sometimes I've had my mom even write thank you on there for me when she's here, like give her like a task.
So you know what you could even do is just like digitize your handwriting.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, I want to be able to keep it blank in case I do want to write something.
Well, I would say like digitize it, but leave room for that. Well, yeah, I guess I could see. That'd be tricky. I don't know.
So, I mean, it is scribbled. It is not like I think I misspell my name half the time. Like it's just like C and then like a bunch of lines.
Crama.
Like I know I put like 4 M's in one of them last week, and I was like, whatever.
This is how we can tell that we're getting silly because we start making more turkey sounds than actually saying legible words.
I've never heard a turkey sound like that. But.
It's like the Peanuts.
Well, we still got a lot to get through because we're about to go over international shipping, which also is terrifying for a lot of people. So,
but I said once you do it once, it's not that scary. Well, yeah, except there will be funny things that happen. But guess what, guys? We know someone who does international shipping if you need help with this. So we'll talk about Donna later, but let's
literally, I love Donna so much. I can't even tell you how much I love her right now. But okay, so shipping outside your country, you're going to need customs forms. And I know that sounds super intimidating, but it's not, because if you're using something like ShipStation or shipping through Shopify or Etsy, they already provide those for you. So it like already automatically fills it all out. It's way easier than going to the post office and filling it out by hand in line where it's like super nerve-wracking and everyone's scared and smelly.
For the love of all things, don't go to the post office in person. You can do everything online anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I've been to the post office in a long time. Like
I'm only there if I'm just dropping something off. I'm like never waiting in line ever unless I'm waiting to hand cancel invitations, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or buying postage desperately because I can't find it.
Yeah. So the customs forms will say what's in the package, how much it costs, if it's gift or bought, and they'll have like this product registration code on there. Sometimes you can add those in. They're not super necessary. I'm not going to like bore you guys with those details, but so there might be additional tariffs and duties and taxes, and your customer at the destination is responsible for paying these. Like your package could get held up in customs if they don't pay them, but it is not on you. But I do recommend having something like this on your website that says, like, if you're shipping internationally, like, you'll be responsible for the customs or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
As in your customer, not you. So something to keep in mind there.
Right, because it's like the VAT. There's like a VAT tax online for international stuff, I think. That might
Yeah.
not be customs related, but you know, each country has its own thing. And this is a question that we've gotten within our Facebook group a lot. Like when people have something get held up in customs and the customer is like, are you going to pay the $60 to release this? And it's like, no, I'm not going to pay that.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to stand your ground to be like, no, the tariffs and duties like for your country are not my responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. And most customers who are ordering internationally are aware of these items because they probably purchased internationally before. So they're aware that this is a thing. But, you know, there's always.
And do not let somebody, because this is a loophole people try to use, is they try to be like, well, can you mark that it's a gift? Because that's a way to get around those fees sometimes. And don't do that. If someone is paying money and buying it from you, like, don't just follow the rules. Don't mark it as a gift. Don't let them like cheat the system because crime doesn't pay. I don't know why, but I keep hearing like the past week I've heard the phrase crime doesn't pay multiple times on different podcasts, different shows. It's been weird. It's been like this weird theme. So
that's the theme of the week is that crime doesn't pay.
Crime doesn't pay, guys. Be honest.
So on first class or international packages, I think USPS First Class International is typically the cheapest rate. Of course, it might take you 3 months to get there. Just kidding. It doesn't take quite that long. But now I use Donna, the shipping wizard, who uses DHL for international packages that I'm shipping manually, like to brides or something like that. But if they order from my store, I just print that through ShipStation, and it's typically USPS First Class International.
Yes, and Donna Wise is an actual person. It's like not a website or anything.
Yeah.
And we can share her information in the notes as well for those of you who find that you're shipping a lot more things international. Because Cami, I know you told the story on Instagram, but I feel like you should like tell a really quick version here too.
Listen, you guys. Okay, so I was like having this panic attack trying to get these boxes of invitations to Bermuda, and they got returned from USPS twice. I don't know what was going on, but it was bananas. Like even my post office dude, Tony, he was like, I don't know what's happening. Everything's right. And I was like losing my mind. So I was like, just call Donna. I was like, who the freak is Donna? And she's like, just email her. And I was like, hey, Donna. It was really weird. So I was like, can you help me? And literally within 5 minutes, she's like, here, just give me all the info. And like, she had my shipping label ready to go. And I'm not even kidding you guys. Like within like 8 minutes, she was like, I can have DHL ready to pick it up for you. Are you going to be home? And I was like, yeah, I can be home. And she was like, okay, they're coming. And I was like, all right. So I was like, thinking I was like, I'm going to be like 3 hours. Literally within like 5 minutes, the DHL like van shows up at my door. I like lost my mind. Like I wasn't even fully dressed. And I like ran out in a sports bra. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. The guy probably thought I was insane because I was like running across my lawn with this package because it was just bananas. I was like, you are here? Oh my God, you just called me. I was like, you know, Donna. Like, oh my gosh, I literally lost it. He probably thought I was the craziest person of all time, but my package also got there like the next day or something. And it wasn't even like a next day air or anything like that. It was just like normal packaging or shipping. Anyway, Donna's amazing. I freaked out and you will freak out too. Yeah. And she also sent me a Christmas card with this cute little miniature mouse that I love. I love miniature stuff.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. She sent me a candy bar and it's like a computer mouse. It's like a little DHL mouse. It's so cute. So I emailed her. I was like, you are my favorite.
Yeah, I actually pulled up her email right here because it's pretty easy to remember. It's just donna.wise@inexpress.com. And Inexpress is spelled INXPRESS. So donna.wise@inexpress.com. This is just a huge shout out to Donna. This is like not an ad or anything. It's just
this is a serious game changer.
Yeah, her service is impeccable. And I think like Cami, you also connected her with somebody who like ships guitars internationally or something crazy like that. They like found you. Okay, they found Donna through Instagram because they were following you. And
I know she gained a ton of followers after I shouted her out, which is like the most influenced I've ever had done in my life. So because I like went on there and, you know, got really excited talking about her, and she called me and she was like, I literally gained like 200 followers. She's like, thank you so much. It means so much to me. Like, left this really sweet voicemail.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
She is just the sweetest. And an actual person too, to be able to help you with shipping and like get it done. You're not trying to do it online and do it on your own. And that is an amazing international shipping story. So if at first you don't succeed, call Donna.
Alex was like, so what does she work for? I was like, I don't know, Alex. She's the shipping wizard. That's all I know. I just know to call Donna. He's like, I don't understand. I was like, no one understands. Okay.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Yeah.
So.
She's with InExpress, which is like you know, they also pair up with companies to get you the best rates and things like that, which it's awesome. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so I think we can kind of like switch gears here and talk about packaging for wholesalers. And is that any different from how you package for your customers, Cami?
I mean, I actually put the packing sheet in there so they know what's in there. That's pretty much it. No, I don't. And then I'll like separate things out by like their quantities of 6, like cases of 6 for cards and stuff. So I'll just like make sure those are all separated out. So it makes it really easy for them to get their inventory sorted up.
Okay, cool. So. Perfect. And then let's talk about too, like what happens when something breaks or doesn't arrive according to the customer's expectations. And in this instance, how do you handle returns? So I feel like this is kind of loaded, but because I haven't really dealt with this, I'm also just going to let you go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Well, before you ship anything, I like to do what I call the protection test. So when you get your mailer or your box or whatever, this is what you're going to do, y'all. I mean, you got to do it. You literally throw your boxes all over the house. You test it landing on the long side, the short side, landing on a corner. Then you shake that bad boy like a Polaroid picture. I mean, you are going to get wild with your boxes, okay? Because you got to give it the test and see how it holds up. That's number one. What you gotta do to make sure things aren't arriving broken. Like I would literally do this with like boxes and mugs too. Like,
can you please record yourself doing this at some point? Because posting this to Instagram stories would just make my day. If you were like, today I'm doing a protection test. I think it would be so funny, Cami. Oh, actually, you should just do it on TikTok. That's like where all the cool kids are now.
I don't know how to. I can't figure it out. But okay,
I tried to figure out TikTok and I really did fail. I think I downloaded it for like 30 minutes.
I used to have a Vine, so I feel like I could do pretty good. I was pretty popular on Vine back in the day, but I deleted it. So
yeah, well, it doesn't matter because it doesn't even exist anymore. So
like when Alex and I started getting married, I was like, I have a lot of really dumb stuff. I mean, it wasn't bad, you guys. It was just embarrassing because I was just living by myself doing dumb videos of like me throwing. There was like this one where I was like, okay, Kitty, time to get into your like carrier. And I, you know, did like the clip of him getting in the carrier. And then the next clip was like, psych. And I like threw the cat carrier across the room and like bounced all over the place. But he's not in it, okay?
Yeah, right. Of course.
All right. Anyway.
I was going to say that for this like protection test thing, do you know what this reminds me of? Have you seen, please tell me you've seen Ace Ventura, like Pet Detective?
Dude, that's like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Good. I know you love Jim Carrey. So at the beginning, when he is a postal carrier and he is like throwing the box everywhere, he's kicking it, he's like sliding it down the hallway. It is so funny. I was like howling during the opening scene.
I'm going to recreate that scene.
Yes, you should. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, please just go Google Ace Ventura opening scene. Because I think that should come up if I had to guess, like of him like smashing the box around. It is so funny. It's so relatable too for those of us who ship products and are terrified that
literally what it feels like. Yeah. So I mean, you got to do the protection test and make sure everything's holding up well, and you'll be like, oh shoot, I should tape this side or whatever. And then if things do get damaged in the mail, because like I said before, there was that stat about like 1 in 10 packages that go through the mail get some sort of damage. You obviously want to try to make it less than that. Then I will just send them a new print or item. Like if they reach out to me and say, hey, this was bent, you know, I'm really disappointed, I always just resend it. Like I just actually had one like 2 days ago where like she's like, I ordered these 2 11 by 14 things. Like they were packaged so good, you guys. I have no idea how these got bent. Like they were in a box. It's so bizarre to me.
What the
I think
heck?
something went through the box because it like had like a hole in it. It was very weird. So
Jeez.
I'm just gonna, so I'm just resending both those because the cost that it cost me to send that is the customer service outweighs that. So I'd way rather have a happy client and a customer for these things that are low cost to me. And she was like blown away. She's like, I cannot believe you responded like so quickly. And like, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I was not expecting this at all. And it just, always keeps them happy. Usually I get like Instagram stories of them talking about it, which is really nice. So it's just cool.
I have to say things too, like the little guy will beat the big guy every time when it comes to that stuff, because we can be way more personal in customer service than any of the big companies. So you have that to your advantage, and don't forget it.
Yeah. So like things that get damaged, I always resend. If it's something like, oh, it says it was delivered and it's not here yet, I kind of have to like give that a couple days because technically it's not like not really my fault, and it's like the fault of UPS or USPS or whoever. And so I'll typically tell the customer, I'm like, can you talk to your post office man and like your postal worker and see if he dropped it off? Like talk to your neighbors. Like I make them kind of do their due diligence before I resend something, just because.
Yes.
If it says it's delivered, like it sucks because there's not much I can do, and I wish I could like actually hand deliver everything. But I do try to like have them call the post office. I call the post office. We try to like figure it out and troubleshoot. And that one's typically just like a case by case basis.
Here's what
most of the time
happens.
I end up sending one anyway. But.
Here's what always happens in those instances. What I've discovered is that either their roommate or their spouse, partner, kid, whoever it is, in-law, grandparent, it doesn't matter. Someone else at the house has brought it inside and put it somewhere, and they can't find it. And it is almost like 95% of the time that is what has happened. And so it's just like, can you please like check with every person in your house? And I've had that before when I've sent things like back in 2017, I would send things for styled shoots and like mailing wood signs. And I'm always like, the first thing you need to do is like check with anyone who's been in your house in the past 48 hours within it being delivered, to ask if anyone like picked up anything and put it somewhere, because I sent out a wood sign for somebody once, and sure enough, it was like not their spouse, but it was like a parent had picked it up and brought it inside and like stuck it in the coat closet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh goodness. And so, yeah, I just have to remind myself to like take 3 deep breaths whenever dealing with the fact that it says delivered and they can't find it. There's those like go-to things you can do first before taking any sort of other action.
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of like go through a list of all the things, and if it's like truly not found after like a week, then use your best judgment and do a case by case on how you're going to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
So
talk about too, Cami, how you handle returns, because I know that I think this was like a month ago now where you said somebody like received something in the mail and then they reached out to you and they were like, I actually realized like I don't need this anymore. I don't want it and I want to return it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was like totally innocent. They just like didn't want it anymore for some reason.
I know. I was like, what the heck? What the heck?
Maybe it was for their boyfriend and they broke up. Who knows? But
it was like a little old lady and she was like, I just decided I don't like it anymore.
So did she have to pay? Did you pay for the return? What did that look like?
Yeah. So for my returns, I think I have on my website, it's like 40, contact me within 48 hours to return it. And you have to pay for the shipping back to me. Like I am not sending you a return label. I am not like paying for the return shipping. Like you return it to me, you pay for the shipping. When I receive it and it's like in 100% great condition, I will refund your return. So it's not like an easy return process. And I know that maybe that's not the best customer service, but I'm not Amazon. And like, if you want to buy the print, you want to buy it. Also, I feel like it costs them like, the print was like $24 and it cost her like $7 to ship it back to me. So I was like, this just seems silly.
I know that I had to do that because I bought a ton of mailers and packaging from a company. And then once I received them, I was like, well, first of all, these aren't exactly the quality that I wanted. And second of all, like, I don't think I actually need this many. So I sent the huge box back, but I had to pay like $25 in shipping or something. So I think I spent like $160 up front, including shipping. Right? $160 and then sent it back for like $25. And then I was only refunded $140 because $20 of that was shipping in the first place. I don't know. So even some big companies like don't provide shipping like return labels.
A lot of really big companies. I hate when people don't have shipping return labels.
You're like, I hate myself. I do, but I just don't do it.
But like, I'm not like, I don't know. It's not like you're trying on a pair of pants or something, you know? Like, it's different.
It's very, very different.
So that's how I handle returns. Now, if I like accidentally send the wrong thing, which I've done that like a couple times, then I'll just be like, oh, just keep that print. I will send you the new one.
Yeah.
For some reason, I always get my Orlando and Raleigh city skylines mixed up. I send people in Raleigh the Orlando one all the time. They're like the same color, and they're like, I have some weird city. I'm like, oh, that's Orlando. Let me get you the new one.
You need to mark
I've done that twice.
You need to mark them.
I mean,
like
they
super
have
clear or something.
They literally say Raleigh or Orlando. Like, it's not. I don't know what it is. It's just like as I'm grabbing stuff, but. So that's pretty funny, but I'll just have them keep it. I don't really care if they get it back to me or not.
Yeah.
If it's my fault, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Okay. So, gosh, I feel like this episode is also ending up
another long
like
one.
Almost an hour and a half.
What is happening?
We can just go on forever. We're just those type of people that can talk till the cows come home. All right. So let's wrap it up with like the main things to remember when it comes to shipping.
Okay. Real quick though.
Yes.
Guys, you need to get a Dymo label printer. This is just like
I
one
skipped
tiny
that.
little
Sorry.
note. I mean, it just says Dymo. So if you are printing labels at home, we highly, highly recommend getting a Dymo label printer, the 4XL. I think it's the size. I have no idea how much it costs. Maybe around $100. Worth it every single penny. It will save you so much time. It doesn't require ink. It's like a thermal printer. It makes your brand look polished, professional. I mean, you just got to get one.
Yeah, and that is on both of Cami and I's Amazon shops. I think we link it. We will definitely put our Amazon shops in the show notes this time because we have talked about all the sorts of different things that we've gotten from Amazon. Will likes to say, like, I bow to Amazon, our overlords. That's like what he likes to call them because he's like, Amazon, our overlords. And I'm like, I'm a Google and Apple girl myself, so you know we each have our vice. But I was gonna look up how much the Dymo printer was, but Amazon's taking forever and a hot second. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm looking it up to see if I can do it faster.
It's a race.
Well, it's $162 at Walmart. It's a race. It's $162 on Prime.
It's saying, okay, the Dymo 450, which is different, is a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's the 4XL.
Oh, yeah, 162.
Dymo 17.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and they can be finicky. Like, we spend a nice bit of time troubleshooting occasionally over here at Eliza
sometimes. Oh my gosh, the other day, I about freaking lost it. Remember when I posted that Instagram story? Do you remember? I don't know, it was like 3 weeks ago. It just, oh my God. It was like the roll like ate itself and like was wrapped up in it, and it was just like making the most god awful noises. And I was like, I'm gonna have to buy a new one because I literally think I just broke this. I had it in like 5 pieces, but I got it figured out.
Yeah, sometimes I have to like unplug mine and put it back together.
Yeah.
And lately,
if you unplug it for 30 seconds, it just needs that. It needs that time away from
it. Needs to reset. And I've had a thing with mine recently because it's getting down to the end of the roll. I don't know if you've had this happen.
Oh, yeah.
But when it gets to the end of the roll, the labels will come through kind of crooked. So its favorite thing to do is print a label and then push out 3 empty ones. And I'm like, thank you so much.
When it does
thank you so much for that, for wasting those extra labels.
I know. And those labels are not cheap. Oh my gosh. Mine spit out like 15. That's when I got mad and started taking it apart. But then it like sucked it back up in behind it. So it literally just like tightened and tightened and tightened. I had to like cut it with a razor to like get it out. Oh,
geez.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah. So besides us like semi like hating this, it's a love-hate relationship. It really is a huge time saver.
Yeah.
And it is well worth the money. But it's like any tech thing you buy, you're gonna have to troubleshoot it, whether it's a computer, a printer, a cellular device. A mobile device. Why did I say that? iPhone. Wow, I just sounded like I was like 80 years old.
Your cellular device.
Do you know what I did to Will a couple weeks ago? So I'm always asking Will, like, have you seen my phone? That's like always what I'm asking him. And so one evening I was like looking for my phone and he was like on the couch watching TV. So I like walked up to him and I was like, was I perusing my cellular device over here? And he just like lost it. He was like, okay.
Okay, yeah, big
I was
nerd.
like, what? I didn't want to ask you for like the millionth time. Have you seen my phone? But anyway, you have to troubleshoot anything, like no matter what it is. So we promise that like overall, this is like 90% a good purchase. And then 10% of the time, you'll just want to pull your hair out. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's fine. It's character building. All right. It's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It's good for you.
Absolutely.
So,
well, if you guys are loving the podcast, please leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. That's how other people find us. And obviously, we love occasionally reading a review as well, because our audience and our listeners are the best. There's no doubt about it.
100%. And I know Elizabeth started ending the podcast, but I had one more.
Dang it. I almost asked you to. I almost was like, do you have
It's okay. This is,
but go for it.
Yeah. The final note here. What to remember when it comes to shipping, you guys. This is just like the last little wrap up. Okay. So if it's fast and trackable, it ain't going to be cheap. If it's fast and cheap, it ain't trackable. And if it's cheap and trackable, it ain't fast. Okay. And that's the end of the episode.
Okay, so this needs to go in our description because that is so clever. I am making a note of it right this second. This is so funny because I asked you, I was like, go ahead and wrap the episode up. And then we got on like a huge tangent with like whatever we were talking about, the Dymo printer, because I'm always skipping points and Cammy was like, wait.
Right. See, we do it all the time. I know, and I didn't want to interrupt you. You're doing such a good job ending the episode. And I was like,
thanks for not interrupting. No. It's okay, because now people still know to leave a review. It's just a little earlier.
Yeah, now they're going to be like, that was a really good shipping point. Now I'm definitely going to leave a review. Right, guys?
Right? Wink, wink, wink.
Just do it right now. We'll wait. Okay, good. All right. Okay. So get ready for Get Ship Done Part 2 coming out next week. Because we have way more to talk about with shipping. I know. I can't believe it either, because we literally almost talked for like 2 hours about shipping.
But next week is all about mailing invitations, which is kind of like a whole thing. So we did our best today to cover our bases with shipping products, but our Q and Cake this time is also devoted to shipping questions, which is awesome. So it's just the Get Ship Done month, y'all.
It is Get Ship Done in January. Okay.
I'm like hoping that people will know we're saying the word ship, SHIP, everybody. So this podcast episode is not explicit because we are saying SHIP, not the other thing. Just to clarify, I just got to throw that in there just in case.
That was Elizabeth's disclaimer.
Yep.
Thank you.
There we go. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay. I think we're good here. Thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.